Hello and welcome to Newsline TV. My name is Grace and this is Wezesha Biashara show. Wezesha Biashara show is a program where we learn how to acquire, manage and preserve wealth. In our previous episodes, we've been learning how to acquire wealth. We said that for you to acquire wealth, you need to be able to tithe, you need to be able to pay yourself first, and finally, you must be able to manage your expenses. In our last episode, we looked at how to multiply this wealth once you have it. And we said that before you go into multiplying the wealth, you need to look at various factors. First, you need to consider how much money do you have? Is it ready for investment? What do you want to achieve at the end of it all? And today's conversation picks up from that level, Lucy, where we looked at what do I need to consider before I actually, take my money and invest it into the various options.
Yes.
Because at the moment there are numerous options,
Yes.
from land to greenhouses to, lotto. There are all sorts of investments. Which investment options work?
Yes, Grace, we said in the last episode that wealth multiplication is the second step in wealth creation. And we said that is a step that has got several steps that you can take. And we said, number one, you can invest. But before you invest, there are things that you need to consider. Number one is the timeline that you have. Number two is how much have you accumulated? Is it enough to take you into that stage of wanting to go and invest? Number three, what are your investment goals? And so now we want to look at what options you have considered all that and you feel I am ready to go and invest. So what options are available? And we said, do not go blindly into the investment landscape. Consider consulting people who are experts in the area. But even as you go to consult, you should basically have a rough idea of where can I invest my money. And the first option of investment is investing in land. This is the one every Kenyan know. Tunasema in Kenya that mtu ni nini? Ni ploti. Everybody must have a plot. So that's a good way of investing your money. So you need to consider this capital that I've been saving, this money that I have, is it enough to buy a plot, and where should I go to buy the plot? And as you consider investing in land, I want to caution our members or our viewers that investing in land is a tricky business. You need to be careful who you are dealing with. And this is where you need now the guidance of experts in land transactions. We've heard of people who've saved their money, you go into land, and then finally you are conned, your hand-earned savings. So when you work with an expert in the area of land investments, they'll be able to guide you where are genuine plots available, where are plots that can appreciate quickly are available. And depending on what is it that you want to do with the plot that you're going to buy, they will also now be able to guide you that this is the best way. And these are the steps that you should take to avoid being conned. So consider consulting with experts. We don't do land transactions ourselves, but we can guide people into who are genuine people that deal with land properties. And when you're considering investments in land, you have options like you want to buy a plot and let it appreciate. You want to buy that plot today, keep quiet for another 3-4 years, then you sell, it will have appreciated. You might be looking at, I want to buy a plot and immediately start constructing my own house to live in so that I can avoid paying rent. And the amount that I was using to pay rent then becomes my seed for further what? Investments. You can also be considering, I want to buy a plot and construct houses for sale. If you have that kind of capital, you want to buy a plot, start constructing for sale. And then number 4, you want to buy land and construct units that then you can rent and immediately start earning passive income. And I would like to say that plots are available all over Kenya. Investment in plots doesn't have to necessarily be only in Nairobi. Yes.
Yeah, this land thing is very tricky because when you buy a piece of land, for example, to construct rental houses, then it takes you 3 years to construct them. Is that still investment or How do we look at that?
It is still good investment, and that is where now the experts will guide you. If you go and tell this person that deals with land, me, I want to buy to construct rental houses, they will advise you. If you are in Nairobi, this is the best place for the kind of money that you have to buy and construct, and it should take you so long to do the construction. If you have all your capital ready, then they will tell you this is the amount of time it is going to take you to construct. If it's a big construction you are doing, definitely it will take you 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, depending again on who are the service providers that you are using. And there are some that even in 1 year you have finished. It depends on how complex the kind of investment in land you are getting into is involving.
We have the new style of where people tell you buy land and put up a greenhouse. You know, sounds very attractive.
Yes, sounds very attractive, but a very tricky area to get into. And I would like to advise our viewers, it's a well thought investment option, but you need to be very, very careful, because transactions in agribusiness are tricky. You need to consider who is selling to you this idea. In most cases, the people who sell land, these land buying companies, they are only experts in buying land, subdividing and selling plots. They are not experts in doing agriculture. So what they do is they go and subcontract somebody else to do the agribusiness for them. And so the amount that you pay for greenhouses is paid to another company. So you need to be careful when you're getting into that kind of investment, that the person who is going to do the agribusiness is an expert in agribusiness. Number one, they know good agriculture. Number two, they have a contract with the market. They're not just going to farm and then when the product is ready, there's no one to buy, and therefore the amount of money they promise they are going to give you is not available. So you need to be sure, and if possible, insist that that person who is selling to you the agribusiness idea has a contract with the market where the produce is going to be sold. But it's a good idea nevertheless.
Right. So land is a lot of people say land is a passive sort of like investment.
Yes.
Especially if you're not going to use it immediately.
Yes.
And just besides constructing rental houses and constructing your own house, you can also use land, I mean, for what, constructing a school?
Yes, yes.
Depending
on your needs, you can
Yes.
even buy the land, construct a school, you can buy the land, lease it to people who want to do business.
Yes.
You can buy the land, use it as collateral. When you start borrowing money for things, there are so many things you can do with the land. The only thing is, as you invest in land, be careful that the returns are not immediate. You can't buy that land today and tomorrow it starts giving you the returns. You must be patient. You must be ready to give it at least some time for it to appreciate.
Thank you very much, Lucy. And the point that land takes time.
Yes.
There's no business of buying land today and you expect that tomorrow you will get some returns out of it.
Yes.
It's one of those patient investments.
Yes,
where
yes,
it takes
yes.
time to return.
Mm.
Therefore, when you're looking for land and when you intend to actually invest your savings in land, then make sure that you have ample time to get some more money coming in the meantime.
Yes.
And that brings us to the end of today's show. When we meet next time, we shall be talking about another investment option.
Yes.
Where you can put your hard-earned cash into. Until then, I wish you God's blessings and goodbye.